l'immense plaisir et honneur d'accueillir 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏 avec nous, qui connaît bien la tour de Tetiaroa, qui est venue avec nous déjà pour la fois. So, Yaolana, everybody, welcome. Thank you very much for coming to listen to our presentation today. We are going to do it in English with our French accent, sorry, that is English. If you don't understand, you can stop us and we're going to explain in French. And we have the huge pleasure to welcome today with us 𝗖é𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗲, who has been coming to Tetiaroa Atoll in French Polynesia many times with us, and who is supporting our program. And we are going to explain you later on that we are so happy because we have been able to get this very high level, very prestigious level that is called hotspot. So thank you again. So the topic of the day will be the research and conservation program we have developed 18 years ago on Tetiaroa Atoll in French Polynesia. And this is going to be a joint presentation between 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏, which is the foundation we have created 20 years ago with 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶𝗍𝗍. Thank you, Richard. And also another NGO called Tetiaroa Society that have been created by other people and 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗍𝗍. Thank you, Richard. But the most important is to show that this very small atoll has become for us really a living lab. We are going to talk today only about our small program, which is the 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏 program, for which 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏 as the lead on this program. But we are going to explain you more the link with Tetiaroa Society and the overall atoll on which the Brando resort has opened 10 years ago. So for that, I will have some colleagues with me, and we are going to have the pleasure to have 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗍𝗍 and Sylvia doing some keynote at the end. I'm going to have the pleasure to welcome my naissances, who is our transition manager, who has been helping us for many years, in fact, and now more since a few months. And also it will be 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶. She is the director of operations of Tetiaroa Society, and they are going to explain how this program is fitting into the overall frame of Tetiaroa Atoll. So this will be the presentation schedule. And what is important also that I wanted to mention is that all of that was possible, and it's very important for us to mention that, because we always had the support of the French Polynesian government, because as you know, 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏 are protected species, and in order for us to study them, protect them, we need to have special authorization from the government. So we have been doing all of that with the government support since 20 years ago. And this is why also we are now developing our program all the way into the Pacific Ocean, not only on Tetiaroa Atoll. So the foundation is called 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏. I guess a lot of you know the meaning, but it's very important to just re-explain. Mana is the spirit, the strength. It's a very, very strong word for the Polynesian, the culture. And Moana is the ocean. And when we did 20 years ago, we decided to create a foundation. We really wanted to focus on how could we help structure programs that will at the same time include research, conservation, and education. And this is what we've been doing for 20 years. And here you have some numbers about some accomplishments that we have been able to reach. But the most important for us will be, I think, in addition to the conservation of wildlife and 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏, is the education program. We have been able to reach over 150,000 kids in our education program in French Polynesia. We are altogether 280,000 people living in French Polynesia, so this is a big number. And these programs are being accredited by the government, by the education minister. So it's even more important for us because it's part of the official curriculum. And in that, we are going to discuss about that later. We don't talk about 𝗔𝘰𝗋𝗄𝗏 only, we talk about wildlife, we talk about erosion, we talk about global changes, and we hope that this is the key for the future in order for us to make changes and to have all of this young generation become the leaders and continue the work that we have started with 20 years ago. So to talk about Tetiaroa, and 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶 is going to mention it more later, it's a very small tiny atoll. like 5 kilometers by 7. It's right in the middle of the Pacific. If you take the planet and you take the Pacific Ocean, it's right there, the blue zone, right in the middle. And it's an atoll that was owned by Marlon Brando. The family, Brando, is still owning the atoll. When we first started our 𝗔𝘰𝗔 program, it was with 𝗔𝘰𝗶𝗶 𝗚, his son, who was living on the atoll at the time. And everybody was telling us, oh, there is no point for going there is no more turtle. It's too late. A point that is important to mention is that we still have in French Polynesia a lot of poaching for meat, which has been cultural in the past, part of the culture in the past. But this atoll is so close to Tahiti that it was easy for the fishermen when they wanted to kill or to catch turtle to go to Tetiaroa. And so the number of adult females coming on the beaches to lay eggs was decreasing because it was very important for them to come. And so when we started this program, it was, I think, at the perfect time, because otherwise it would have been too late to change the curve and there would be no more turtle coming to Saturn. And so Tetiaroa is also a unique place because in 2014, when Richard Bailey decided to create a resort on this atoll, the idea was not to create a resort, was first to create a research station called Tetiaroa Society in order for researchers and conservationists to come and study the place, to better understand and to also have ideas of what could be built on our atoll without changing the balance of nature. And I will give you some examples later on, but it was so amazing because every time I brought a new point or a new observation to Dick, he was like, oh, okay, I'm going to change my plan. So that was great. Thank you, Dick. So why do we talk about 𝗔𝘰𝗔𝗃? In French Polynesia, we have different species. I'm going to talk only about the green 𝗔𝘰𝗔𝗃, which are the only ones that lay eggs in French Polynesia, basically. And I'm going to show you some pictures. Some of them are during the day, like the one you see, but they usually come at night. And so what we do to monitor the status of wildlife is we have to monitor the trends. We have to count each individual and see year after year if the numbers are increasing or decreasing. For 𝗔𝘰𝗔𝗃, everybody is asking, so how many turtles do we have in our Polynesian water? It's like, oh, good question, we have no idea, we cannot count that. So one indicator is the nesting numbers. And for that, it's not difficult, you just have to be in good health, and every night you walk on the beach. And so it's, we are doing some calculation that every year we count how many kilometers we have been doing. And up to today, we have been doing 24,000 kilometers on this atoll since 2006, just working on every beach every night. Anyway, during the season. And so you see this picture, the turtle has to come up, find a good place to lay eggs, and then come back. And this will last for 2 to 3 hours. And then once the turtle comes back, she's not taking care of the babies, so she goes back to the nest, she will come again 2 weeks later. So for us, it's very interesting and in fact very easy to monitor the female and to learn better about them. So we start counting really into 2007, all the way to like last month, and all together now we've been reaching the numbers that you see there. So over 8,000 crawls, meaning that we have counted 8,000 back and forth tracks on the beach. We have confirmed over 1,400 nests now, and we have identified 372 females. This does not seem a very big number, but for French Polynesia, it's the highest number that we have. And this is also very important because these turtles, they are coming back every 4 to 6 years. So the more we protect them, the more chance we have to see them some years later. And this is what we have been doing. So we are very happy because when we see turtles we have been seeing 12 years before, we feel that at least we have been doing something good, we are successful. And then we have counted 352,000 eggs. So this is a number that our team really has counted. Why? Because after hatching, what we want to do is look at survival rate of the babies, and for that we dig the nest and we count every empty eggs. So it's very, 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 very detailed. And this is how I wanted to share this example, because Tetiaroa for us is really a living laboratory. It's where we test new technology. And we want to expand that to other islands, or atoll in French Polynesia, but also in other places in the Pacific. And we have recited 27 females. So could you imagine us? We walk on the beach, sometimes we see nothing, and sometimes we see one coming. How do we recognize the female? It's very easy for us now, because in the past we used to put flipper tags on the front flipper with a number. But now we have a better way, which is less invasive. We only take a picture of the face. So the turtle is laying eggs, she's not running away, so it's very easy. You take the picture of the side of the face, you put it in the software, and then you know this turtle was seen before. I'm going to show you some examples. So when we see a turtle that is coming 6 years after the prior event, it's very rewarding for us, as you can imagine. And we use a very unique software, which is developed by 𝗏3, for which we have a very long-term partnership. And this is enabling us to work at night on some tablets where we take all the parameters. We take the GPS point, we take the depth, we take the precise location, of course, we take everything. And this is giving us a very detailed summary of what has happened during the season. And this is a tool that now we are expanding to other, with other partners in South Pacific. For example, now we go to 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏, and we are going to go to New Caledonia. And we want to go also on the way, this will be transition we do at the end, that on the way of the turtle, they are migrating to other places in the Pacific, and they are the one telling us that we should develop a collaboration project with these countries like Cook, Samoa, Tonga, American Samoa, Fiji, and everything. These are some examples. I'm not going to go into detail, but as you can see, usually out of 2 crows, the turtle is laying one nest. So it's not every time. They need to train, but you see on the chart that we had 2 high years or season. So I didn't say the season are starting usually in October and ends in March. And so the 2 peak seasons for us were 2017 and 2018, and 2023 and 2024, where the numbers have been very high. For example, in 2024 we had 1,400 tracks, which was a huge year for us. I didn't say how many were for that, but sometimes we have between 4 and 6 people. And we never sleep at night. We have a lot of fun. By the way, I invite all of you to come if you want to volunteer. We always take volunteers with us. And so this is the map where you see the red dots, which are the highest number of nests that you can find. So the pointer is not working, but if you see the southwest Motu, Motu is a small island, this is where the Brando Hotel is, and Tetiaroa Society also. And you can see this Motu is one of the preferred Motu that the sea turtle have chosen. Now to go back to the history, in 2026, I was working in the beach and taking all parameters, and in 27 and 28, and then when the Brando decided to look at what they could build as a resort, Dick asked me to come and show where the turtle were laying eggs. And in fact, they are really coming up into the bushes. They don't lay eggs in the middle of the beach in French Polynesia. They really go to the first bushes line. And so this is why they decided to push the bungalow further, like 10-20 meters more into the bushes, not to disturb the turtle. And now, guess what? The 2 big motus on the north were number 1, number 2, and then motu of the Brando was number 3. But for 2 years in a row now, the children have decided to go to the Brando. They all go to this place now, which is very interesting. Because in addition, we have put some very strict light policy. We don't want to disturb the children, so at night, we tell the guests you have to put the light off and everything not to disturb the children. So this is a very, very positive and successful story. This is to show again the number of females, so it's following the same trends. And I want to add also a very interesting point on this picture. For example, you see this turtle in the back. There is one of the Brando Villa, and this is during the day. Sometimes it's taking for them so much time to find a good spot and to lay eggs that it's daylight, and so they could come at 8 p.m. and leave at 6 a.m. So for us, it's all night. We wait, but we want to be there till they go back to the water, which is always an amazing observation. This is to show you an example of this 𝗔𝘃. So every time we have a 𝗔𝘃, 373, we give them a name. And so this one 𝗔𝘃, for example, was seen in 2011, 2017, and 2023, the same one. As I explained before, it's because of the photo ID. But we know everything about this 𝗔𝘃. She came during the 3 seasons. She laid 20 nests, and she was able to have 975 babies. So we know everything. We have the photo ID, we have everything. We take some genetic sample. So basically we have an identity of all of these 𝗔𝘃 in one atom that is giving us so much information. We also go to so many details that we know how many males are in every nest, because they usually have several males in one nest. So for that, in order for us to have good numbers and good information, to give the government information to better adjust the conservation plan is very important. And then in addition to that, we have done 2 times with the Direction of Environment and the government some tracking with satellite of this 𝗔𝘃 post-nesting to see where they go. And now we know for sure they are not living in French Polynesia all year round. We share them with other countries of South Pacific. You can see here they go to Cook Island, 𝗏𝘕𝗏𝗏, Tonga. Some of them stop in Fiji, some of them go to American Samoa, 𝗏𝑖𝗏𝗏 Futuna. We even had some that went to New Caledonia and some that went all the way to Papua New Guinea. So now our goal is to develop partnership with these countries, because this is where we want to see the 𝗔𝘃, but we also want to make sure we work with the same system, which is very easy. So if we could increase the capacity of this other NGO in this country, we're going to do it. Now, an interesting point also is you have the 2 graphs. The one below in red was in 2010 to 2018, so like 10 years ago. And the one on the top in blue is right now. We put the tag in January and are still sending a signal where they are. There are 5 of them, before we had 8 of them. There's a big difference. If you watch it 10 years ago, they would take a route that is a little south. Now you see they all went up. And some of them went to American Samoa and 𝗏𝑖𝗏𝗏 Futuna. This is new. And the next story in that is that we're starting developing partnership with 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Last year I went there, I started working with small NGO. They came to Tetiaroa, which is now a training center for new biologists that want to study sea turtle. They saw the turtle laying eggs in front of them on 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Okay, we trained them for 1 month, then they went back home, and we put the tag on the turtle. We followed them on our cell phone, and then we were like, what? They're not going to Fiji, they go to 𝗏𝗏𝗏. And so the 2 volunteers that we train are now watching the same turtle in a lagoon inside the lagoon of 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Futuna. So this is so amazing. So we're learning a lot also on why they changed their route. Is it depending on the current, on the temperature, on the feeding, or everything? We have a lot to learn. And then this is just to show you, it's going to be fast, but how magical it is to see eggs. So you can see these eggs, they form on top of each other, they don't break. You have some kind of mucus to protect them, but I don't have the time to put so many videos, but when you watch that and watch how much energy and delicacy they use to dig the nest, put the eggs, recover the eggs, protect it, and then leave, this is amazing. They are so exhausted that they have to go back in the water after some time, a few hours out of the water and be dehydrated. And they weigh 120 kilos. They are very heavy, very tired, and this is a sunrise on Tetiaroa. As you can see, it's quite a nice place to work. And after that, they have to cross all the lagoon. So there's the reef. They have to go on the top of the reef and then go for the migration. And 2 months later, still 4 days later, this is what's happening. Usually at night, but sometimes very early during the morning. We can have an average of 80 to 90 babies, but sometimes we go to 120. They have to escape and go very, very fast. And then they run, they rush. Yeah, this is a magic moment. I want you to add to that not only our biologists that are helping us, but also the brand guests can have the choice to be awakened during the night if they want to see this magic of nature. And usually this is changing their life, because they had no idea they could see that. To go back to the success rate, of course we count the eggs, we look at how many babies, which is following the same tracks, but we also do something that is very important, and my next need to talk after, is we monitor the temperature of the nest. You may not know, but the 𝗔𝘰𝘰𝗀𝗧, they have to mate with several males. They lay eggs, but the sex of the baby to be born is not decided at the time of the fertilization. It's only influenced by the temperature of the nest. So in the context of global warming, it's a big issue, because some of my colleagues in Australia, they are now monitoring 99% of female. So the warmer, the more female is creating. The very warm temperature are just killing all the embryos, because the yolk is like a boiled egg and it's not able to feed the babies. So this temperature is very, very important. This is to show you a nice picture of 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗏 watching babies in front of the villa. And we sometimes as very important guests coming to help us at the eco station, like here we had Barack Obama. And this is to go back to the temperature. On Tetiaroa, not only we are lucky to work in this place and to have such great numbers and results, but also the temperature of incubation is telling us we are producing 54% of male. So this is a very good news, because some places are not producing male enough. So maybe down the road we're going maybe to have some males go to other places to help other females, I don't know. But this is a good news. How do they do that? They could go higher into the bushes to have more shade, or they could dig deeper in the sand to have, you know, a deeper, more protected nest for the warming of the sun. And then just a few points about predation. Of course, there is a lot of predation on baby turtle. As you may know, out of 100 eggs, one makes it to 1 year age. And out of 1,000 eggs, only one makes it to adult stage. So on Tetiaroa, not only we study them, we try to monitor, we try to learn, but also we do a lot of education. We talk about it, but also we try to protect them. So in order to protect them, we have done. Okay, we are protecting the nest with fence, and when we can, we protect them from predation from crabs. So this is very, very easy. You see on the right, we have some fence, and then we watch them go to the water so that the crabs don't get them. But there are also rats. And the good news is that Tetiaroa Society and partners have been able to take all the rats out of this atolls. So we did a full rat eradication, which was very, very important. But before, when we started, this is what's happening. The rats would come, they smell the babies, they take one, kill one, eat one, and then they come back and they take so many. So we tried to study how many, but a lot of them were killed by rats. So the good news is that now they are not killed by rats anymore, and so survival rate is higher. And then the last point is sometimes the female don't know why. They could pick up to go in the sand to lay eggs, but they just decide to go to this kind of pieces of rocks, you know, coral rocks. And so when we can, we help them. We try to take them out to look at, you know, I have to take the piece of coral and look at, there's one baby there, one on the side, on the right. They're fully blocked. So sometimes they're okay. We just unblock them, deblock them, and we let them go because they're fine. Sometimes they are wounded, or they have hands of crabs. And so if they are very bad, we bring them to our 𝗔𝘰𝘰𝗚𝘀𝗽 care center, which is in Tahiti. So I don't have time to explain all of the other activities, but this is also another action that we do to protect and to help increase the survival rate of the baby turtle. So on Friday we do another conference where we talk about the 𝗔𝘰𝘰𝗚𝘀𝗽 care center we have there. But in addition to this observation, we have also something that is very unique and which is increasing, is beach erosion and changes in the profile of the beach. So I will let Maina now talk about this problematic situation on Tetiaroa.
Thank you. We can really thanks and congrats Dr. Gaspar for all this great work, and with this association, foundation, 𝗔𝘰𝗶𝗏𝗏, co-founded by our president, 𝗩𝗶𝗶𝗏𝗛𝘚. I'd like us to really thank them because it's great work, a lot of time and investment, and it's a real pleasure to work with the whole team. So, good afternoon everyone, very happy to be here with you this afternoon. We're very lucky to have 𝗔𝘵𝗫𝗲 with us. We'll make the conclusion of this conference. We're lucky also because there's nobody after us. So I think we can, take some more time. I hope they hear me. Je voulais, avant de continuer en anglais, est-ce qu'il y a combien de personnes ici souhaitent peut-être une traduction en français? Un petit peu? Ok, on essaiera de faire des petits résumés en français en même temps. Thanks a lot. So as our Dr. 𝗏𝗂𝗏 just said and explained, we have many threats. Rats, we have crabs during the incubation of the nest. Also at the hatching phases, as it was said. But we also have a big threat, which is the erosion threat. It's a natural coastal erosion, but as you know, for sure, the turtle needs to go to the beach to, create the nest, and for sure, for the turtles to be back to the ocean. So as you see on this video, you have a turtle that has very big difficulties even to come back to the ocean. So as we can say right now for the erosion, coastal erosion, it has impacts on the vegetation cover. It also changes the natural slope of the beach. And of course, the worst is the floating of the nest. If the nest is under the water, just the eggs are killed. Donc juste un petit rappel, parmi les menaces, c'est vrai qu'il y a des menaces pendant la ponte, pendant l'incubation, pendant l'éclosion, mais il y a une menace forte qui intervient même avant, c'est l'érosion côtière. L'érosion du littoral, en fait, va modifier les plages, va créer des cassures sur les plages. Vous voyez qu'on ne respecte plus la pente, et donc les tortues ne peuvent même plus accéder. Or, comme vous le savez, this is a very important point, the turtle always come back where she was born. Ça, c'est vraiment la raison pour laquelle aussi l'érosion côtière est un problème majeur. Les tortues reviennent pondre sur la plage où elles sont nées. Et donc, forcément, cette érosion côtière, elle peut avoir de très lourds impacts demain, surtout si cette érosion, qui effectivement est un phénomène naturel, peut aussi être aggravée par la question du changement climatique, puisqu'on sait que ce changement climatique va intensifier les phénomènes climatiques et va aussi aggraver l'intensité même et la régularité de ces phénomènes. So, I'm going to show you an example. This is another video we have seen what can happen on the beach, and for sure we have nest floating. I'm going to show you the example of a little motu, it's an islet, un petit îlot du 𝗔𝗶𝗶𝗏𝗏 de Tetiaroa qui se situe donc au sud-est de l'île, qui s'appelle 𝗔𝗂𝗏𝗏. And this little atoll, you can see on this picture, the points are the nest, and you see all the nests now in the water after the natural erosion on more than 50 years. We had the chance to have results for the past since 1955, and on this map you have the results since 2007, and you see how the erosion, how the beach can move, and finally being a threat also for the turtles. This is also to thank the 𝗔𝗲𝗍, who realized the picture before, we just saw before. And here you have the work of 𝗔𝗶𝗶, of Dr. 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗏 𝗔𝘂𝗏, in partnership with 𝗔𝗶𝗶, the research unit 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶 and the University of French Polynesia. And this work shows the evolution since 1955. You see here, still on the bottom right, this little motu called 𝘗𝗏𝗏. You see now how it is. You see the evolution since 1955, how it was in that time, and how it is now. So you see the evolution. It reduced by 10 since 1955. So the natural erosion can be a real threat for turtles also. I just gave an extract of the Benoît Stoll and his partners' studies. You can have it online also. But he explained that we have two types of motu. And one type can be more resistant, resilient, because it has a coral line, and the other ones who are more sandy motu. And so, on the contrary, it has a significant impact of the climate change with the strong swells and storm. But he said also, he stays pretty prudent finally the conclusion, saying that, well, we cannot yet link it to the climate change. These results will help us in the future also to measure better and to understand better how the extreme climate events can have impacts in the future, also in these activities around research we have around turtles. So this is the evolution in the past 15 years. And here is all the maps you can see here. This is great work that Benoît Stoll did also, and that helps us to better understand and to better protect these sites. So when we had all these studies done, Dr. 𝗏𝗶𝗏 decided to lead a new program, because she's amazing. She has a rocket. She has 2,000 ideas every day. I love it because it's very dynamic. But I like to thank her because she's the one who also impulsed this new project about restoration with a solution based on nature solution. And so we have now a program with IUCN and some other foundation as the the Tahitian Historical Society from 𝗏𝘂𝗏𝗏. We launched this program called 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗏 tahatai, means to respect the coastal line. This program is on 3 islands, the island of Tahiti, 𝗏𝘂𝗏𝗏, and Tetiaroa. So we have different partners. Te Mana o Te Moana takes care of Tetiaroa. We have 4 sites on 2 main motu. And what was done over there is a nursery for reintroduction of native plants. So I won't go into details, but if you're interested, we'll be more than happy to give you more information about how these studies was done with an ecological study before we launch it. For now, we have more than 1,000 plants on Tetiaroa reintroduced, 2,000 on the 2 other sites, and we also had children participating in this program. The goal for us is to develop a new protocol. This protocol will be based on this field experience out of these 7 sites, and they want to share it later with the public, with everyone who would like to also work and help us to restore coastal line by solution, a nature-based solution. So we'd like to thank our team. Te Mana o Te Moana has 2 main departments. One is research and conservation. It's coordinated by our second veterinarian, 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗏𝗏, and 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, who coordinated the 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗏𝗏 tahatai. He is the one who takes care of it. And if you want more information about our activities, we have a second conference on the 6th in 2 days, and we'll explain all our programs, either in the conservation side and the second one, which is education. You have the QR code here also to join us on our website. Thank you.
Donc maintenant, 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏 va nous présenter un peu dans le contexte global de l'atome de Tetiaroa, qui est Tetiaroa Society, quel est le lien avec les 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏 Moana, et quels sont les projets futurs qu'ils sont en train de mener.
Yarana, Maeva, good afternoon, welcome everyone. My name is 𝗏𝗏𝗶𝗏 I serve as Director of Operation for a non-profit organization, Tetiaroa Society French Polynesia. So, together with my team, I lead an eco station over there. And it's a hub for sustainable innovation and conservation. Yes. We host scientists, students, guardians from all around the world. Okay, sorry. We did our best. So we study sea turtles, seabirds, crabs, sharks, coral, native plants, ocean acidification, and everything that connects land and sea. So at Tetiaroa Society, our mission is clear, and we made it with love. We protect, we learn, we educate, we restore, and then we explore solutions for tomorrow. Great. We combine Polynesian wisdom and with science, modern science. And above all, we care. We care for this island, for this ocean, for every being who depends on it. Even when we face challenges, we keep going every day because love gives us strength and culture gives us direction. So on Tetiaroa, we restore balance through our Tetiaroa Atoll Restoration Program. We remove invasive species like rats or yellow crazy ants so that seabirds, crabs, or native can return. We give our best every day and the atoll is responding. How? Birds are nesting again. Crabs are back. The reef is breathing. But TAP is more than numbers. Yeah, it's a model. A way to help other islands to face the climate crisis. A full presentation will be given on June 11th by Dr. 𝗔𝘰𝗵𝗵𝗏 and 𝗔𝘦𝘵𝘀. So you are warmly invited to explore the detailed event. And we do all this with science, but also with care, patience, love. Because restoring the atoll, it's restoring hope. And here, education to empower. Education is how we pass the flame. We welcome more than 1,200 children from Haiti and Moana on Tetiaroa. And Temana or Moana did it more on Haiti. They plant trees, monitored turtles, snorkel coral reefs, and discovered by their own eyes what it means to care for a place. We also host international students, researchers, and volunteers, because Tetiaroa speaks to everyone. Our guides are the bridge between the guests, nature, science, and culture. Our rangers patrol sensitive areas, support research, and operate eco-stations. And all together, we protect more than just a place, but a way of living, where love for the ocean becomes a commitment. Because when a child falls in love with life, they will be protected forever. Marie.
Merci beaucoup. Donc en fait c'était un petit peu en mot de conclusion des exemples de programmes que l'on fait sur Tetiaroa. Donc comme vous savez, on a fait que des petits échantillons parce qu'on n'avait pas forcément beaucoup de temps. Nous invitons donc à venir à nos prochaines conférences, donc une le 6 et une autre le 11. Et globalement, là, déjà, je veux sincèrement tous vous remercier d'être venus. Merci aussi au gouvernement de nous soutenir. Merci bien sûr à 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶𝗶, au Mando et à toutes les équipes qui nous soutiennent depuis le début. Comme vous avez compris dans nos différentes présentations, ce lieu il est magique, c'est un lieu qui est vraiment transformant, c'est un lieu quand on y va pour la première fois, on sent qu'il y a quelque chose de particulier qu'on n'a pas ailleurs. Je me rends compte que je parle français. I switched to English, sorry. So I was just saying that this place is really magic. It's an atoll that is very, very special. The first time we step in, we feel something strange. We feel maybe some power coming from the sand into our feet, into our body, but we feel connected. And this is what 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶 wanted to express also, is that we feel that we have to do something. We have to engage ourselves to protect the planet, to protect this little place, but also how could we do to help others get connected? And truly what I have been witnessing there over 20 years, but more now since the Brando Hotel has opened, is that I see the transformation in the people we meet there. They come to have a nice time in a nice place. Okay, they wake up at 2 a.m., they're like, oh, they ask us, do we want to be awake? Okay, let's go. They arrive, and then they see this magical moment about the cicero laying eggs, and then they feel, what else is more important? You know, why are we in this crazy world, busy and email and phone call and always in a rush? And so, for us, it's like we step back and we let them observe. And when you see how this magical is happening with how all of this cycle is done, then we feel we accomplish a mission. The mission is for them to come back with not only reconnected with nature, but with in them a mission to let's act, let's do something in our daily life. And I think this is the power of Tetiaroa Society. This is the power of all of these people that are collaborating with us, and this is also why we feel so much passionate about it, because we feel that we are helping nature, helping some species, but also creating a change, and for that Tetiaroa Society is a model. Thank you very much. And now it's a pleasure to have 𝗷𝘂𝗶𝗶𝗶 coming for a few words. Richard is the founder of these two foundations and has developed the Brando and is the person who is inspiring us.
Okay, I guess the cat is out of the bag now. I want to congratulate Dr. 𝗏𝗏𝗏 as co-founder of 𝗔𝘰𝗏𝗏 and president of Tetiaroa Society. I can say that my biggest challenge has been keeping up with these people. And I feel like I'm trotting behind. There's always something new to do. And to say that we are all, especially me, proud of what we've been able to accomplish would be a tremendous understatement. A couple of thoughts I'd like to impart. We see the results of all this work, science, conservation, education. Behind that, there's funding. None of this happens easily. None of it happens automatically. It requires funding. And my day job is running a hospitality group, and the novel idea, I think, is that tourism isn't necessarily a bad thing for the environment, as often it's conceived as being. It can actually have a very beneficial, very positive impact on the world. And the model of tourism that we promote and that our government in French Polynesia promotes is one where tourism actually engages visitors as agents of positive impact on the world. And I'm very proud of the fact that a lot of the funding for everything that we've seen comes from our hospitality group. It's sort of there are many instances in nature of sort of symbiotic mutualism, like the clownfish and the anemone. The anemone protects the clownfish, and the clownfish brings food to the anemone. And Tetiaroa Society, 𝗔𝘰𝗏𝗏, and our hospitality group work in that kind of symbiotic relationship. And my concept of our model, that's our concept of, say, regenerative tourism. And so, but we're not trying to save the world. We're just trying to do a few things right, in the words of Marlin's son, 𝗔𝘰𝗏𝗏, save Tetiaroa, save the planet. So now we've studied the terrestrial environment, the lagoon environment, the reef environment, and people say, okay, so what's next? What do we do next? And what we've decided to do, what we need to do, is go have a look down in the deep ocean. We have seawater air conditioning at our property, which is a pioneering technology that we use to air condition our property. It's 3/4 of all of our energy requirement. It's just an incredible system, but each year we have to go down and inspect this pipe. And as we've done that, it's 1,000 meters deep. And as we do that, we discover these amazing creatures, and we even have some creatures come up our pipe, and we take them to our field station and ask people, identify these, and we don't know. A lot of these things have never been observed by humans, and so we started to say, wow, there's a world down there that nobody really knows about, and we need to discover that world. So, partnering with Dr. Earl, we're going to build, we are building now, under construction, 2 human-occupied vehicles, HOVs, they're called, submersibles, research submersibles, and again, using our citizen-supported science model, we hope to be able to take non-scientists as well down to visit what's called the twilight zone, the mesopelagic, 200 to 1,000 meters deep. These will be three-person subs. 2 of them, they dive together, just like in scuba, the principle of self-rescue. The world down there is estimated to contain 70% of all biomass on our planet, terrestrial included. And it's just astonishing to us that we know so little about it. It's like it's a tremendous frontier, the last frontier to be explored on our planet. So we're very proud to be working with Sylvia's daughter Liz and her team at Dover Marine in Alameda, California. We're going to build these machines, and we're going to go down and explore. And along the way, we're going to wake up that sense of desire for discovery that all of us have. And just by standing on the beach and admiring the immensity and the beauty of the ocean, we wonder, there's just a sense of wonderment, and, which many scientists already have because they're studying it very closely. But in the tourism world, we admire first, and then we awaken curiosity. And so we think that these two activities are extremely complementary. Stay tuned for 2026, Q1, maybe Q2, and we hope to see some of you under the water. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you again. And it's our pleasure and honor now to have Sylvia, if you want to come and say a few words for us as a conclusion about our program. You know, thank you very much, and you know it so much.
What a privilege it is for me to be here with all of you to share the dream of what is possible when people come together with a mutual desire to move from where we are to get to a better place. As a witness to the most remarkable era in all of human history, a time, middle of the 20th century to where we are now, when we have learned more about who we are, where we've come from, and where we might be going if we get our act together. At the same time, we've lost more. When you think about, in all of the arc of human history, even the history of life on Earth as far as we know, there's never been a time when one species, that would be us, has had the power to comprehensively alter the nature of nature, to destroy what has taken 4.5 billion years to come to this sweet spot in time when you think the last 10, 11,000 years, circumstances have magically come together just right for the likes of us. Before, there were our predecessors, they were having a really hard time. But in this era, when things kind of reached a point when oxygen in the atmosphere, just right, the level of the temperature within range, it's turned out to be just right for us. A lot of things. It has really fostered our prosperity, but as our numbers have grown, we have prospered because we've taken from nature. I mean, all creatures do. Turtles eat something or somebody. It's an eat-be-eaten world. We're all made of stardust. We're all the result of whatever the miracles that made Earth a part of this whole universe. But we exist by collaboration, by working together. Systems. It's not, no one creature can exist alone, certainly not humans. But when you think how just in the 20th century, especially the latter part of the 20th century, technology that has enabled us to learn more than has been possible ever before, to go high in the sky, to go deep in the ocean, to answer some questions that people have been yearning to know, perhaps for as long as there have been humans. about what is the moon, what's it like in the deep seas. How do we come to be? So much that it's just so exciting to be now a 21st century human being. We all should be excited about that. But at the same time, think about what has been lost to get us to where we are. We've consumed about half of the rest of life on Earth. We're in a biodiversity crisis. We're in a land use crisis. We're in an ocean use crisis. Imagine if we did not know this. Imagine if there weren't people such as you doing something about it. This is the best time ever to be on the earth as a human being. I mean, elephants are pretty smart. Whales we know are too. But they cannot know what we know, and they cannot do what we can do. They can't build little submersibles. Or get into a little submersible or a big submersible. We can do this. We can take actions individually and together. They can take this time when we're right on the edge, having consumed so much of nature, to bring us to this high level of prosperity with 8 billion of us. Good news, 8 billion minds potentially able to learn enough, see enough, to understand enough to know we really have to respect nature. Here's the thing. Polynesians, among those who have lived in a place for a long time, made peace with nature. All of us have the potential as humans to learn with those who have lived in a place for a long time. And the knowledge is there to be shared. The wisdom of making peace with nature, living within your means. It's true around the world. There is a wisdom of working with nature, never taking so much that you destroy the very system that keeps you alive. But what I love especially about what you are doing, it's the ocean is your home. Many cultures are terrestrially based and have a similar kind of ethic. But one of the biggest problems with why we are where we are with the ocean today, people don't know why they should care. Many people never see the ocean, never touch the ocean. Even though the ocean touches every one of us with every breath we take, every drop of water we drink, most people don't know this. But you know, the Polynesians have known, because the ocean, I mean, their home is Muslim Peru, and the ocean is sacred. Imagine if we could convey the ethic of caring for nature, and we could realize that everyone, everywhere, all the time, should be treating the ocean as a sacred place. Our existence depends on it. And we have treated it, the sea, especially since the middle of the 20th century to right about now. During that time, we have managed to not only witness, but be the agent underlying the loss of about half the coral reefs. Maybe as many as 90% of the sharks gone. Seagrass meadows, mangroves, all sometimes directly consumed, sometimes just collateral damage from our actions. But if we start, and not start, but if we adopt and continue the ethic of caring that we've been hearing about with Tetiaroa, it's a sacred part of the most sacred area of the planet, the ocean. So, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for doing what you're doing to take the spirit, the knowledge, the curiosity, but it's the love that leads to caring. Knowing is the key that leads to caring, that leads to action. Here we are in France. Here we are at this conference where there is the potential for, like you said, you're not setting out to change the world. You just want to change this little place to use the knowledge and the wisdom of the people who've lived in that place for a long time. That's the Pacific Island culture, if you will. It has a center of action right there, Tetiaroa, to magnify the reach through example, through showing turtles matter and that we matter, that by adapting technology, it can cut both ways, either to destroy, to catch tuna by the ton, to kill turtles, to create noise in the ocean, to do all the things that have caused the decline, but we can also adopt technology for exploration, for knowledge, for communication. I just cannot, I'm just so excited about what it's going to be like when you, all of you, and we're the kids. When you get inside a little clear bubble and descend through layers of blue that don't even have names, and get down where it's dark all of the time, and just what happened to me might happen to you. Realization that most of life on Earth is below where sunlight shines. Lives in the dark. It's cold water, right there. Where it's tropical on the surface, but vertically, as you go down, you get into a really wondrously chill environment. Dark, full of life, bioluminescence, creatures who've been there long before there were humans. Diving into the ocean is like diving into the history of life on Earth. And you can see it, and you can feel part of it. I've seen the transformation with individuals that I've had the joy of escorting a little submarine down and just watching. I didn't know, I didn't have any idea. And Cousteau, the first time, when he put a face mask on and went underwater and came up, here's the familiar life. Most of us spend our lives up in the atmosphere, and then to go into the blue atmosphere. He describes it in Silent World. It's not a silent world down there. It's another discovery that you find when you go into the sea, that all these creatures are communicating on a level that we're just beginning to understand and appreciate. This is the beginning of the greatest era of exploration, of understanding. I think the 21st century, at least it has the potential for being this time when we finally get it. Been like this, consuming nature, it's time to give back. In the example here, you say it's just about doing a small thing in a small place. But Dick, all of you, what you're doing truly has a capacity to change the way people think, behave, to change the world. We need success stories, reasons for hope. Thank you.
you so much, Sylvia. It's so impressive to hear your words and just to go back to my personal story. I was so lucky back in 2001 to be at one of the conferences at UNESCO in Paris, and this is what transformed. What did you do? Now, one of our board members from the Tetiaroa Society, 𝗔𝘰𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗲 𝗔𝘦𝘵𝘪𝘢, who is part of our team, to give a few words.
Comment parler après Sylvia, cette grande dame qui m'a fasciné, qui me fascine depuis tant d'années. Il y a 30 ans, j'ai eu la chance de la rencontrer en juin 1996 à la NASA. Ça a été un moment d'émotion extrême, fabuleux. Voilà, je voulais dire addict, mais vous m'avez enlevé, j'allais le faire. Vous ne pouvez pas vous rendre compte ce que représente le peuple de la mer. Le vrai peuple de la mer, des océans, qui m'a fasciné depuis ma plus tendre jeunesse, c'est les Polynésiens. C'est le vrai peuple de la mer. C'est les mériens. Voilà, et on peut les applaudir. C'est un travail merveilleux qui nous fait cet honneur fabuleux d'être au conseil d'administration. Et je peux vous dire que la première fois que je suis allé à Montréal pour voir Cécile, pour voir ces tortues, c'était le début, le tout début. Et c'était merveilleux de voir sa passion, ses rêves, comme un enfant qui avait ce rêve dans la tête, mais d'une façon extrêmement primaire. Il faut avoir des rêves. Ayez tous des rêves, jusqu'au dernier souffle de votre vie. Ayez des rêves, mais bâtissez-les. Donnez-vous les moyens de bâtir. Et là, aujourd'hui, vous avez un exemple fabuleux. Fabuleux. Ce travail que vous faites est vraiment fabuleux. Je suis vraiment très très fier d'être dans ce conseil d'administration. Je vous aime, tout simplement.
Bon, mais merci tout le monde. Merci vraiment pour votre soutien. On voulait aussi en profiter pour remercier tous nos partenaires qui font qu'on peut mettre en place ces actions. Et ça fait 20 ans qu'on a commencé. Et on va continuer pendant encore bien plus longtemps. So thank you very much for everybody. Thank you to all of our partners that, we have so many, so I cannot name all of them. But what we can accomplish is because of people, because of humans, because of like friends like you guys. And so thank you very much. All around, welcome you on Friday at 1 at the French Pavilion for another explanation about what we do at 𝗔𝘰𝗰𝗶𝗹𝗲. And if all of you want to come to take a picture with us and Sylvia, please come and we're going to do a group picture. Thank you very much.